don't think pity is helpful for the average person, but it's the default thing that people give when they find out that someone is ill or having hard times. So that was kind of a self-appointed title, just because me and my friends, one of my friends was on holiday once, and we were in Crete, and he went missing for a couple of days, not in a scary way, but he came back and we were like, where were you? And he was like, oh, I was off with the locals having a great time. And we asked him, like, what? Like, he's just that kind of guy where he doesn't let the truth get in the way of a good tale. And he goes, sure, they're calling me the King of Crete. And we all just burst out laughing at that. And like, since, that was back in when we first left school, that was the holiday, and that was about 16 years ago now, more than 16, 18 years ago. And me and my group of friends, we've always just been saying, oh, I'm the king of whatever. I'm the king of, fizzy water. We've just added whatever X at the end to sort of make a joke of the situation. And then just when I was going through my cancer with my friends, I just said it, lads, don't worry about me. I'm the king of chemo. And then I think someone else said, like, that's a good social media username if that's what you're going down. And then I was like, yeah, I suppose you're right. And then I went with that. And yeah, it's just stuck with me. I wouldn't say my cancer diagnosis shaped my outlook on life. I think it was more about how it gave me the opportunity for something that has just given me so much of a purpose. So in many ways, it's not necessarily my feeling of that I have cancer. It's that it opened a door where I just saw something that was meaningful and difficult. And that's just it is a blessing in itself. So like, you'll often see me saying on videos where it's like, I love cancer, stuff like that. And there's an element of truth with that, where it presented me with something that is I've been trying to search for my entire life. And that is a meaningful purpose that so few people in the world, they'll go their entire life without finding, something that isn't like provides a person such a drive. And like, I never ever had that. And then even now, like, I still have imposter syndrome, where like people would describe me as someone who's like extremely hardworking, and it's like, you have not seen the first 3 decades of my life. I was not hardworking whatsoever. But then it's like every hour of my waking day at the moment is just related in some way, in some small way, to breaking this charity world record. And even if it's not, even if it's like something extremely fun, as we mentioned earlier, I was in my my best friend's wedding recently, and there was just like this itch in my stomach the whole time, being like, this is fun, he's your best friend, but this is not work. Like, stop wasting your time. And it's like, it's his wedding, this is not a waste of time, this is fun, you're with your friends. So yeah, I've never had that drive before, and it's a wonderful feeling to have. In some ways, I would like that. From like a selfish point of view, I don't think pity is helpful for the average person, but it's the default thing that people give when they find out that someone is ill or having hard times. And I find that it can be come off as condescending in a lot of ways, and it's not intentionally condescending. That's something I really want to sort of push forward on. But I think a simple example would be like giving a homeless person alcohol. And I think a lot of people kind of, they're like, I don't want to contribute to their bad habit. And I can understand their perspective, but I always go the opposite way, where it's like, no, they're having a really bad time, and I'm going to treat them like they are an adult, not that they are like, an old person in a nursing home that are unable to look after themselves. And is it good for them? Absolutely not. But every time I give say offer to a homeless person, where it's like, I'm going into the shop, would you like something from the shop? And they say, like, they never ask for it. But often I'll offer them like, here, do you want a beer or anything like that? And their face just lights up, and it's because they're being treated like a human being, and I'm not giving them pity. I'm just giving them something that is desirable to them. And I think that is something that is really important when it comes to sort of the horrible stuff that hits us in life. There's a big difference in showing support and then sort of showing a tear that doesn't do anything. And again, that's for a small amount. That's for some people in the world. That's what that's for. Some people need those tears. Some people benefit from really seeing the emotional effect that their life having a problem is having on someone else. But it's not everyone. Oh, everything. Like it's almost the basis of the story that I was going through. So like brain cancer, it does not it's a unique form of cancer where you're actually fairly fine functional fitness until the cancer transmits into or transfers into your spinal cord, and then it just shuts everything down, and you're not able to move. Your heart stops, and your lungs start taking in oxygen. So you're actually fit and able to do things up to a certain point, and then it drops down quite quickly. And so with that, I knew that the stereotype of cancer is very much more kind of like you're gaunt and you're unable to move well, and that's often association with how much chemotherapy blasts somebody. But again, because your brain is your most vital and delicate organ, and the most difficult to actually scan and to do tests on, because the skull is there to protect things. It means that the chemotherapy that they hit at you is very light. So I kind of knew that the story of a cancer patient doing marathons and doing physical things was going to drop a few jaws, and people would be like, what? He's a chemotherapy, he's in chemotherapy and he's running to his chemotherapy like a hospital. That's insane. This guy is insane. When it's actually not. It's actually fairly normal, but it's just not that many people know about the differences between brain cancer and other forms of cancer. So I knew that I could kind of this makes me sound a bit arrogant, but kind of play off of the lack of knowledge that everybody has about cancer.